I'm Steve Shanklin. I knew Synerzip and working from them with CoreTrace, where I was VP of Engineering starting in December of 2011. And one of the things, what we were using Synerzip for was to do QA for our products. And we found that, at first there was some issues with getting the team to do the things that we needed done. And our director of QA, he knew that the guys were competent and capable of doing the work, both Amit and Sudeep. We really have a lot of respect for them, and they understood, technically things, but it was a question of how did they fit in, what were they doing, and how it fit in. And Synerzip was kind enough, to work out a program with us where they embedded Amit and Sudeep into our company for a period of about, it seems like it was about 8 weeks, and it made all the difference in the world, bringing them over and getting them to get to know the different team members in our engineering team, what those guys specifically worked on, what were their strengths and what were their weaknesses. I mean, these guys even took them out, to their hunting camp, and they just really bonded. And that made all the difference in the world afterwards. I've done working with offshoring with QA with Cisco, having Cisco employees around the world over, in Mumbai, and it was not as productive as what we found once we had embedded Amit and Sudeep and had them come over and spend 8 weeks with us. I've also worked with Ukrainians and people in Pakistan, and neither of those teams in doing development were effective. And one of the things I suggested to the Pakistani company was I said, look, this worked really well when Synerzip, consented and sent their 2 leads that were working for us on QA to come and embed with us. And the Pakistanis said they would do it, but it never really happened. And that project didn't go well. They just, the developers on that team didn't understand what they needed to do. Likewise, working with the Ukrainians, they seemed to understand technically what they needed to do, but they didn't understand how they fit. And I think really if you want to have, an agile environment that works, whether it's development or QA, then the people who are going to be remote have to feel a sense of connectivity. They have to understand who the different people are, and that gives them the context of knowing, if I have this problem, this is the person I should talk to. This is what I need to go make sure, because every developer is different. You have to follow their work. And we were just really pleased with using Synerzip. They worked with us through some hard times financially and got us back on track. And I would use them again. I think so. We had actually tried to hire some local QA people to do QA work, and they just really weren't as productive. I mean, the guy was intelligent, but he just didn't have the right personality traits. He wasn't dedicated to doing the work. And Synerzip's staff was definitely dedicated to finishing the work, and not just finishing the work, but understanding what needed to be done in order to get the product to be the quality we wanted it to be. They actually were very independent. I think one of the things we also had to do is figure out, because the intellectual property value of what we had, we wouldn't allow them to have access to our source code for part of the product. It was because it was a security product. And the 2 founders of the company were very adamant about protecting that property, which I understood as a VP of engineering. One of the things that we did is we found that we had to change the area of the product that we had them work on in order to make it easier for them to do their job. And I think, sometimes making sure you understand what helps to facilitate the QA person's actual involvement, not being able to have to wait, and ask a question and wait and ask a question and get an answer. It was much better when we got to the point where they're able to run instead of being led by the nose.
Would you partner with Synerzip again?
Certainly, I would.
Yeah.
Also, another thing is that, their agile little mini conferences that they have where they bring us the top 10. I went last year, I came here last year as well, and this year I enjoyed it as well, and the information that they provide us and the forums and the discussion afterwards is as valuable as anything I've read online this last year. I think that they really care about the success of the companies that they're trying to help. They're willing to make an investment in the community and the people who are here doing things, as well as helping the company to be profitable. It's like they've invited people who are not necessarily their customers to come and participate, in these top 10 discussions and forums. and it shows that they really are reaching out into the community here in Austin and in the United States. And the experience we had with Amit and Sudeep coming to America and spending 8 weeks with us shows that they understand the importance of relationships and bonds. And their willingness to work with us in financial hard times also shows that they understand business and that not everything is, here's an hour of work, I need an hour of pay.